All right, friends, it's Cena back with another video, and it's on Mitchell Hooper, the drug addict. That's right, the strongman drug addict. Okay, let's review this video. Let's see what he says here. Does lifting heavy build muscle? Man, this is fucking great again. You get these drug addicts, does lifting heavy build a muscle? How the fuck could a lifting heavy build a muscle? Unless it's got any nutrients in it. Any nutrients in those barbells? I don't think so. Mr. Hooper. All right, let's watch this video.
It's extremely common to hear that you need to lift lighter weights and focus on the muscle in order to build muscle mass. I want to find out, can we build muscle?
What? Focus on the lighter to build muscle mass? How the fuck can a weight build a muscle mass?
Solely focusing on getting stronger. When you do a quick Google search,
this is great. Solely focus on getting stronger. How do you do that? Inject more drugs. If you inject more drugs in your ass, guess what? You're going to get better at lifting those heavy weights. You're going to get stronger at lifting them. Yeah, man. Like this fucking guy, Mr. Hooper.
You'll find very distinct rep ranges based on your goal. If you want to get strong, we're talking 1 to 5 reps. If you want to build muscle, we're talking 8 to 12 reps.
1 to 5 will get you strong. See? And 8 to whatever he said here, what is this, 8 to 16 or 15? It's going to build a muscle magically out of thin air. Reps are going to build a muscle. Can you imagine this guy?
Muscular endurance, we're talking 15 reps or more. But is this the truth?
Oh, muscular endurance 15 or more. So there's a cutoff. So if you do between 8 and 15, it's going to magically build muscles. But if you go over it, if you go to 15 reps, you're going to build muscular endurance. And if you go 1 to 6, you're going to build strength, bro. Get it? Yeah, man. I had no idea that fucking weights had these magic powers to do these things. Incredible.
Does this tell the whole story? Before we dive into the science, let's talk about some of the...
Oh, let's talk about more drug addicts. More drug addicts, yes.
Legends of different sports. First of all,
yes.
You've got Ronnie Coleman.
Legendary drug addicts like Ronnie Coleman, the drug addict.
Who lifted very, very heavy weight in preparation for the Olympia. We also have Larry Wheels.
He lifted heavy weight, or the steroids that he took allowed him to lift that heavy weight. And Larry Wheels is another drug addict. Come on, man.
Who was absolutely shredded and huge, but mostly focused just on getting stronger. These two guys might be exceptions to any rule based on their genetics and generally how they train.
Yes, based on the genetics they were injecting, right? The genetic code they were injecting in their ass. Okay.
But we also have strongmen. Mariusz Pudzianowski absolutely shredded when he won his World's Strongest Man titles. Well, I'm not...
Shredded? Took steroids, man. What are you talking about? He took drugs, man. He too was a drug addict.
Shredded to the bone like those guys might be.
Like you are, Mitch. You're a drug addict.
I don't have six-packs abs like those guys might have. I started my strength journey when I was a 200...
Holy shit. Look at how skinny he was here. Was he a normal person here, or was he on PEDs there too as well? Who the hell knows? Maybe he cheated as a marathon runner. And then all of a sudden he turned steroid guy. Powerlifter, steroid guy. He went from this to that. You think he did that naturally, friends? Come on.
20-pound marathon runner. I finished my 3rd marathon, and I decided that I'm going into the world of strength training
He just decided he was just going to go in the world of strength training, like being skinny, like a skinny bitch, the skinny bitch that he was running down the street. Can you imagine him being in strength training as that skinny little bitch? What did he have to do to get into strength training? I know. He took drugs. Yeah, man.
Experience what that might feel like. I went from 220 pounds to 265 pounds when I did...
220 to 265 during powerlifting. Oh, you went from that to that? You think the powerlifting did that, did it? Is that, you're trying to convince us? We think we're stupid. You think that weight got you there, huh? Lifting that weight, eh?
Powerlifting. I went all the way up to 320 pounds, where I am now in strongman, and I think my body fat probably went from
320 pounds. You guys believe that shit? That weight carried him there, eh?
15% when I was running to maybe 22% now. So I've clearly added a heap of muscle mass during my time in that 1 to 5 rep range.
You added a heap of fake muscle mass. What you did was you added a lot of steroids, molecules. Molecules are very powerful for lifting heavy weights. Everybody knows that.
But let's go all the way back to how muscles grow in the first place. There's really three drivers
Yes,
of
do tell us how muscles grow, man, without food.
muscle growth. One is mechanical tension, two is metabolic stress, and three is muscular damage.
Muscular damage. Okay, metabolic tension is muscle damage. And number 3 is muscle damage. And metabolic stress is cell swelling. I even just put that up. It's funny because I just put this up in my community section before I even discovered this video. So let's go there. Yeah. Let's check this out. And I put something very specific there about that. Yeah, man. Community. Here we go. So the role of metabolic stress for enhancing muscle adaptations, practical applications. Okay. You want to know what it says there in the section? I'll tell you what it says there. Resistance training. This is what he was talking about. Metabolic stress, right? Metabolic stress. Okay. The other two, they're based on muscle damage. They don't, a damaged muscle, you're damaging muscles. They don't build muscles. Reps don't build muscles, and they damage muscles. They don't build it. They don't build anything. You want to know what builds muscles? It tells you right here. Resistance training. Skeletal muscle hypertrophy depends on what? Positive muscle protein balance. Protein synthesis exceeds breakdown. Protein synthesis must exceed that breakdown in order to see that mass on that myofibrillar. They even tell you right here in the beginning. Thus, RT is excellent for what? The stimulation of what? Anabolic signaling. They didn't say it's anabolic. They said it's a good signal for anabolic signaling. But what makes you anabolic? Protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown. It makes you what? Anabolic. Yeah, man. Food builds muscles, bro. Get it? That mass. And they're just talking about the mass here. They're not talking about more nuclei or to further this MND size limit or anything like that. That's all. That's all they're talking about here. So they're telling you it's a great stimulation for anabolic signaling and the promotion of what? Muscle hypertrophy. The promotion, but it itself does not hypertrophy. It does not build hypertrophy. Protein does. That's how it works. Now, if you don't have money to eat, you cannot build your body. It's very simple. Metabolic stress is one of the primary mechanisms that what makes RT increase muscle mass. Mainly due to the rise of anabolic hormone release, hypoxia, ROS production, and cell what? Cell swelling. That's what you're doing. If you're kind of a chronic lifter coming to the gym, you're causing some cell swelling. But the only way that you'll ever see that size on that myofibrillar is if protein synthesis exceeds what? Breakdown, like it says there at the top. You got it, man. Anyways, let's go back to this video. I'm gonna get into everything here, you know. Jesus. And the first one and the last one is muscle damage. They don't build muscles. None of these things build muscles, okay? Food does, protein does. Some of it causes a cell swelling, and some of it causes muscle damage.
Now, obviously, not every training methodology is going to stress all three of these out at the same time, and
yes, they are. All of it's going to stress it out. Eccentric exercise will stress all of them all out. It's the most sophisticated. It is the most superior method to cause muscle damage. It's based on mechanical muscle damage and cell swelling as well. It does all three and more and more. Yes, it does.
Different professional bodybuilders use different
professional fake bodybuilders. Here we go again with the fake people, man. Can he not show one fucking normal can he not show one real bodybuilder? Why does he always have to show fake people?
Methods of training and different rep ranges for them to be able to get the same results. I think where we get to the 8 to 12 rep range is that
I think he doesn't know I don't think he knows that there's two types of hypertrophy. There's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, which is artificial muscle growth, and then there's myofibrillar growth. He doesn't understand that. So he's trying to tell you that these rep ranges are going to build muscles in a gym. The only thing that I know you build in a gym would be glycogen. You'll build glycogen muscles because for every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water are drawn between the skin and the muscle into the muscle while you're lifting. If you're lifting and you're glycogen loading, you're able to load this glycogen through water, synthesis, whatever, into the muscle.
Heavy enough that you get some mechanical tension, and it's light enough that we get some metabolic stress. Really, this could be argued as the best of both worlds. But just the same as we wouldn't advocate for going for a run while you're trying to get as strong as possible, and we wouldn't ask you to get as strong as possible while going for a run, when you try to focus on two things at the same time, it can result in you spinning your wheels. Meaning that's probably important to incorporate a whole range of rep ranges.
How can somebody tell you how it works who's done it fakely? They took a drug. They never did it.
5 reps is going to cover the mechanical tension side, where we're just pulling as hard as we can on the muscle.
Look at him, a crazy drug addict. He's like high on drugs, lifting this fucking heavy weight. He's high on molecules on a drug. Molecules are a drug. They're made from plants. They have the same poisonous, toxic effects. They give you a high. When you inject them, they give you a high because alcohol is made from plants. When you drink it, it gives you a high because it's poisonous. Why do you think they say steroids are toxic? There's toxicity levels when you inject them. What is that? Poison. What's marijuana? Poison when you smoke it. Any plant that you're taking drugs and everything, they have poisons in them, toxins called oxalates and shit and all that. So do these molecules from plants. When you inject them, they make you high. This guy is a drug addict, a crazy maniac drug addict, lifting a heavy weight. That's what it does to you, makes you into a maniac.
And the body responds to whatever stimulus we put it under, and now it's going to think, I need to get bigger. By proxy, you're also going to get stronger because now we're creating better recruitment.
I put this stress, so it tells it to become bigger. Yeah, it tells it to become bigger, but without that protein synthesis exceeding that breakdown, that muscle ain't never gonna get bigger. Get it, man? And it isn't based on, I need 23 grams of protein, dude.
Patterns for our muscles, and then you're able to lift more weight. We also don't want to ignore high rep ranges because that's where we're gonna get primarily metabolic stress. Now, it's also where we're gonna increase.
We don't wanna avoid high rep ranges because that's where we're gonna get metabolic stress. You mean metabolic stress, cell swelling. But you're not getting damaged because repeated bout effect phenomena. I mean, this guy's so dumb. He doesn't understand. Eccentric exercise is associated with muscle damage. Okay, so it would be the first and the last two that he talked about. The metabolic stress thing, that would be associated with chronic lifters. Okay, cell swelling. That is associated with chronic lifters. So yeah, you go ahead and shoot for that, dude. And then there's the concentric exercise, what he does in strength training and this powerlifting, where they move for a lot of lifters and even bodybuilders, they do too much concentric lifting, and that is not associated with muscle damage. So if it's not associated with muscle damage, concentric exercise, what is it associated with? What is it associated with? See what I mean? Mostly sarcoplasmic. Okay, if eccentric exercise is associated with muscle damage, then that's what it's associated with, like it says in science. Hello?
It's our work capacity, where if you only ever worked in 1 to 5 rep ranges, over time, you're going to get less and less fit and less able to handle high volumes. This is why powerlifters, in the open class, generally speaking, are larger, have higher body fat percentages than, say, Ninja Warrior athletes.
I don't know. It's a lot of sarcoplasmic, man. They're eating a lot of carbohydrates because they're athletes. They're chronically lifting. And so they need energy. And the more energy they can load in ATP in their muscles, it'll load in their muscles, a lot of it. It'll be stored in there because that's the enhanced performing part. Hello?
Who are doing very, very high reps all day. But the chances are that you're on my channel not just because you want to get bigger, but you also want to get stronger. I'm not the best bodybuilder in the world.
Yeah, you want to get stronger? It's easy. Do what he did. Inject a bunch of drugs in your ass. They're going to make you into a crazy drug addict maniac because that's what drugs do. Think about it. When you smoke marijuana, what does it do? make you in a type of maniac. When you drink alcohol, what does it do? Gives you a buzz, makes you in a type of maniac. Now, when you inject steroids, they're poisonous too. What does it make you do? Make you into a crazy maniac, because now these molecules, which are poisonous, they're binding with your androgen receptors, and you're going nuts. You want to lift heavy weights and scream and yell like Larry Wheels. Ah! Lift the heavy weight, destroy your body, and go ah! Just like a crazy person on drugs. They run down the street, they're all high and everything, cocaine sniffers and shit and all that, opium injections, laughing, screaming, yelling, running down the street. They run, they can run forever until their body runs to the point where they just get a heart attack and die and fall and they fucking crash. All these uppers and downers and quaaludes and shit and all that. That's what it makes you do. It makes you into a crazy maniac like this motherfucker, this crazy drug addict maniac.
World, I'm the best strongman in the world. So let's talk about the ways in which you can get stronger while you build muscle.
And the problem with these drug addicts, they have now put this onto the natural population. They have, lifting these crazy heavy weights, crazy whatever, on these drugs and shit. And then people watch them, normal people, and then they become insanely abnormal, going, yeah, fuck, I need to lift a fucking heavy weight and get strong, like these guys. But that people, they don't understand. These people are mentally insane on drugs, bro. Get it? They're all buzzed out. Fuck it. They're lifting. Yeah, inject more. Ha ha. Go to these drug addict channels. Go see how they conduct their business, how they scream and yell and everything. Oh, they get nuts. And I'm putting all weight, bro. Getting stronger. Yeah. I'm taking more trend, bro. I'm lifting heavier. Look at the trend twins. Look at their behavior. These are drug addicts. I'm telling you, go to just about any channel that these people are taking drugs. Look at Ronnie Coleman. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Lift the heavyweight, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight, baby. It's the drugs. They're making you act like that. Insanely crazy and insane, bro. Get it? Because that's what drugs do. They make you crazy. But this particular drug, unlike cocaine or whatever, those ones, they make you run forever until you get a heart attack and die. Yeah, these ones, they make you lift heavy shit. That's what it makes you do. Yeah, it makes you lift a heavy weight, like this maniac right here. Look at him. Look at him. Does he look normal to you? Look at them. Stripping the weights, whatever.
Now, obviously, I cannot make this video without talking about nutrition. And I'll keep it light. I'll keep it easy.
Yeah, nutrition.
Protein is used to build muscle. Excess
What the fuck does a drug addict care about nutrition? What the fuck, man?
calories are used to get bigger. Therefore, if you eat high calories, you eat high protein, that is going to help you out. While that could be a whole nother separate video, I've just dropped Muscle Building 2.0, where you're able to get 12 weeks of education on everything relating to building muscle while getting stronger, and you have a 12-week program running alongside. If you want to check that out,
Look, the drug addict has a program for you. If you want to get stronger and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, if you're a normal person and not a drug addict, and you want to join his program, you have to be just as insane as this guy. You have to be crazy to think it's going to work for you.
link is in the description. So let's get to the meat of what we're talking about. How to build muscle while getting stronger.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at a week of training, the first thing
this is normal to normal people that work even. You need to lift 1,025 pounds. Why? Why do you need to lift 1,025 pounds off the floor? For what purpose does this serve? What do you need it for? You're never going to move that sofa because you could lift 1,025 pounds by yourself. You're going to need help moving shit around constantly, man. I'm not fucking joking, bro. You don't need this. This is sickness, mental illness. Do you understand me? This is drug-induced mental illness.
What I'm talking about is the number one variable to muscle growth, which is the intensity and the volume. We're talking about total weekly volume.
I strongly advise you get muscularly stronger by building myofibrillar growth. You should just focus, you as a normal person lifter, focus on getting stronger by building more muscle. That's it. That's it. Just build more myofibrillars. If you can do that, it would be amazing. But most likely the majority of you can't do that because you're busy thinking that if I lift a heavy weight like the drug addict, if I get it stronger, I'm going to get a bigger. And it's never going to happen because protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. The majority of you people do not have enough money to eat. You don't have enough money to eat that type of animal protein. And no, plant protein is not gonna do it. It's not gonna do it, bro. It's full of toxins. I told you. Plants, all these plants and everything, these drugs are made from plants. They're filled with poisons and toxins. They're anti-nutrient. You need a natural clean diet. A protein synthesis needs to eat that breakdown. If it doesn't, you can just forget it, bro. Why waste your time going to a gym if you can't?
It matters substantially less how you choose to break this up over the week, and it actually primarily depends on your schedule and what works for your life. For me, 4 days a week works plenty for the vast majority of people, so long as you can get
Yes, overwork yourself like a factory worker 4 days a week or whatever the hell he's talking
full
about.
workouts in. If you have a busy schedule at work, you could always do Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and have two.
Yeah, if you're at work, you want to go and lift right away. Sure, after your labor job, after you killed yourself for 6 hours lifting shit all day. Go to a gym, lift more weight.
Training days during the week. If you have more of a relaxed schedule and the gym fits into your work schedule, you could do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. In the end, get 4 days of training in.
Why can't you just do it once a month, Mr. Mitchell? How about once a month? What if we just come in once a month, we just do full bodies once a month? Is that okay too? Is that okay with you?
When people talk about rest days and when rest days should be, I am firmly a believer
When should they be? When should we do? What should we do, Mr. Mitchell?
that it should be based on your life and when you're able to handle that training. If you wake up or you had a bad sleep or something stressful happened and you're just not feeling good to go to the gym today, that's a really good idea that you should probably just hold off and wait till the next day. Now,
Really? You think I should lift when I feel like it? Okay, I want to lift once a month. How about that? Huh? Is that okay with you, man?
with those 4 days of training, we're going to start with what are our compound movements for the day. These big, heavy compound movements are going to be the drivers of your muscle growth because we're working on tension, mechanical tension.
These big, heavy compounds are going to be the driver of your muscle growth. Mechanical tension, again. Mechanical tension is muscle damage. You're damaging muscles, but you're not damaging because repeat about effect phenomenon. And it has to be eccentric to cause the damage to the muscle fiber. You have to focus more on eccentric. Or you have to be unaccustomed to doing it, even regardless whether you are doing, let's say you are doing a good majority is a concentric exercise. There's still some eccentric, but then that means you're going to have to overwork it. I do that sometimes because it depends on what I want to do in the gym. So I call it an overworking of an untrained muscle because I know a majority of people will not do eccentric exercises. They're more focused on concentric. That's why I always mention in my old videos, it's an overworking of an untrained muscle because I know you're going to do too much concentric. So you can do overwork it with the concentric and you'll still get some eccentric because it's overworked. So there you go.
And that's going to be coming against a resistance. So we're going to take those 4 days. Generally speaking, we would do 2 upper body days, 2 lower body days. We have 4 days of training. Of those lower body days, it makes sense to have 1 dedicated to deadlifts and 1 dedicated to squats. On upper body days, it makes sense.
Okay. What is this? This doesn't drive muscle growth. This doesn't do anything. This drives hormones go up, and it binds and androgen receptor strength and fucking proliferation of motor units, making you better at lifting these heavy weights.
To have 1 focus on overhead and 1 focus on horizontal pushing. Now again,
You can't get bigger. I'm going to tell you natural people right now, you normal people that are not drug addicts. You can't get bigger by lifting something heavy. You understand me? That what this drug addict is doing, this fucking drug addict wants to convince you that lifting a heavy weight, getting it stronger is going to get you bigger, and it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen, ever.
It's not a strongman specific program. This is about building muscle in every possible movement pattern.
It is it? Why would anybody take advice from a drug addict like you, motherfucker?
Now, on your deadlift day, we're going to stick in the 1 to 5 rep range because we're going to build muscle while getting stronger.
You're going to build muscle while getting stronger without eating. This is great. Wonderful. How are you going to accomplish that?
So something like a 3x5 deadlift would make sense.
Do you think he got big like that? by lifting heavy weights. His body got big and puffy like that. Okay? It's all big and swelled up and puffy and shit by lifting a heavy weight. You think he got that strength by himself because he practiced that lifting, or he took a drug and injected it in his ass? What's a byproduct of steroids? Okay, they do enhance your performance, the molecules, right? Lift a heavy weight, run faster, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but what is a byproduct of steroids when you're lifting weights in the gym? It's energy. It's an energy source, ATP. What is it? Glycogen. So it's going to load where? In the muscle. And when your muscle blow up with glycogen, what will that artificial look give you? It'll give you an artificial size. Yeah, it'll give you that size. It's artificial. His lifts are all based on molecule strength. It's based on fake strength.
Walk down and do our accessories. Our accessories on a hinge pattern day are going to be anything where we're tipping our chest down to the ground, or, in other words, using our posterior chain. We could go to glute ham raises. We could go to hip thrusts. We could go to back extensions. And to be honest with you, it matters substantially less than you think. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's kick on to the next day. Let's say we go from that to our overhead day. We then have overhead pressing and overhead pulling as our compound movements, where we're moving both the elbow and shoulder joint. Then we'll go on to our tricep, our shoulder, our bicep work. And this is where we don't want to work in the 1 to 3 rep range. You probably want to work higher in the 6 to 8 rep range. And we still need a
What the hell is he talking about, man?
high level of tension, but that level of tension in relative terms, we don't need to be as intense and as high as we do in compound lifts.
Christ, man, this is such garbage, such garbage.
We got into our squat day. Anything where our knees bend is a squat. A lunge is a squat pattern. A front squat is a squat. A back squat obviously is a squat. A leg press is a squat. Choose one of those major exercises. Again, work in the 1 to 5 rep range, depending on...
Again, more crazy maniacs on drugs. Flying high on a drug. Get it?
your experience level, depending what you're comfortable and confident with.
Sure.
Then, any squat pattern after, a Bulgarian split squat, walking lunges, leg extensions, all work anterior chain and your squat pattern. We're going to round out the week and we're going to do horizontal day, meaning push and pull. Push being a bench press.
Yeah, it's push and pull. Let's see what else he has to say here, because this is boring.
You can tolerate. Now, the most important variable...
Look, they're putting on weight now because he's more high on drugs. It's crazy. This is the insanity comes in.
Any rep range when you're trying to build...
I want to destroy my body. Wah! Injected. Yeah, trend, baby.
...muscle is intensity. If we're not working in an 8, 9, 10 intensity where you're pushing really heavy weight and working close to your maximum capability...
This is a type of mental illness.
...you're going to be leaving a lot of meat on the table. We can boil this down into 3 really simple tips. Number 1,
This is when normal people try to copy this guy. Oh man, they're really mentally sick. Then you think, holy fuck, they gotta be mentally sick because they're not even taking the drug and they're trying to mimic this guy.
so that you're training hard. Intensity has to be 8, 9, 10, very, very hard. 2 is focus that high intensity work on compound movements. And number 3, make sure you're eating in a
You know, this is the problem with these drug addicts. They influence the natural people that are out there to do unnatural lifts. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. And then they get injured and crippled, and you don't hear from them anymore on YouTube. They're all gone. These power lifters and everybody that was natural, they copied these guys, these drug addicts that were high on drugs, and they destroyed themselves in the end. And they dropped off the face of the planet. They're gone.
Calorie surplus and eating lots of protein. As a general guide, 2 grams per pound of body weight is a great place to start. I hope that gives you guys a general structure for how to build muscle.
Yeah, 2 grams of protein is it's a good place to start. Everything was about lifting weights, but nothing was about really building muscle. He tried to pretend and try to convince you that a weight was going to build a muscle. And in the end of his speech, well, you should focus on 2 grams of, protein to build a muscle. Let's hear him again. Hold on.
Is focus that high intensity work on compound movements.
Yes.
And number 3, make sure you're eating in a calorie surplus and eating lots of protein. As a general guide.
See, make sure you're eating in a calorie surplus, eating lots of protein. Lots of protein. He never said that in the beginning. He should have said that that's what builds muscle. He didn't even tell you that that's what builds muscle. He just says eat a lot of protein, that's all. Okay, and?
2 grams per pound of body weight is a great place to
2 grams per body weight is a great place to start. No, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown like it says everywhere in science. If you want to see that mass on that myofibrillar, even a remote amount of mass, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. I'm not joking, man. I'm not kidding.
start. I hope that gives you guys a general structure for how to build muscle while getting stronger. And again, if you want this all sorted for you, you want to follow a dedicated program, and you want to learn a little bit alongside, the link is in the description for Muscle Building 2.0, which is there to help you if this isn't enough. But as always, regardless if you're trying to get bigger, you're trying to get leaner, you're trying to get faster, anything, never forget, lift every be kind. There's people in the gym not as confident as you. Do what you can to make them smile. Do what you can to make them feel welcome. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching.
Wow, that was a lot of shit. Look at this guy. He's proud of himself, eh? Join the fake cult of drug addicts. And you too will have a trophy like that too one day. Yes. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Such an artificial world we live in, man. This guy's so full of shit. Comment down below. Helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends.